Hello, welcome to Working with Miniatures. I'm Jim, and tonight we're going to be painting the Spirit of Summer from the Dark Heaven Legends line from Reaper Miniatures. We'll primarily be using Orange Painter products. Let's get started. This miniature was previously primed with an airbrush using Vallejo's Matte Black, followed by an anti-zenithal spray of Golden's Permanent Violet Dark and zenithal sprays of Titanium White, Benzimidazzolone Yellow, and Titan Buff. I then move on to base coating the model completely with 2.0 speed paints. I use purple for the shadows since it's on the opposite side of the color wheel from yellow, which will make up the majority of the clothing and flesh, and I'm already liking how the flesh is looking with just the speed paint. I then finish the rest of the unpainted areas, moving slowly to avoid mistakes at this stage, as it's easier to correct a mistake with regular acrylic paints than it is with speed paints. I end what I'm considering my base coat steps by washing the textured base and painting the eyes. The eyes were difficult on this miniature and took me roughly 30 minutes, with about 5 minutes allocated for each color, and 5 minutes in between to let each layer dry. I find that giving it time to dry helps some, so if you need to remove some paint with a damp brush, you don't end up removing all of the layers at once. The next stage will be layering highlights and shades as glazes over nearly everything. This is where much of my time went in this project. The shade for the skin is done with Garnet Pigment Toner, glazed anywhere where heat escapes from the body the most, such as the inner thighs, the feet, the hands, and the neck. I went a little too heavy with the highlights on the face to where she looks like she's getting ready to celebrate the Day of the Dead, so I tone it back down with peachy flesh and then redo the highlights. The yellow clothing is done much the same as the flesh, some glaze highlights and a shade. However, there was a major issue I discovered along the way. Somehow, during the cleanup steps and priming and all the way up to this point, I missed two fairly large casting artifacts that were folded over. The problem from these is after I remove them, there will be pure unpainted and unprimed metal showing. To fix this, I cover it with multiple glazes of the clothing color, but I did not use a speed paint for the base coat, as it may pool too much in that spot. The remaining clothing and hair are painted the same as everywhere else, with the exception that I did not shade either of these areas. For the hair highlights, these I focused more towards the top of the curls. For the flowers, I only applied minor edge highlights, wanting the main focus to be on the face and the flesh. I then look everything over and note all the places I want to fix, such as the flesh bordering the clothing, a few spots on the legs and feet, and the neck in particularly. I then go back with all my highlight and shade colors and apply light glazes in an effort to smooth transitions. With the miniature now in a state I'm content with, I move on to finishing the base. I purchased these floral tufts from Amazon.com and the brand is listed in the materials section at the beginning of this video. Taking one of each color, I cut them into quarters and with super glue I began tacking them on. This took quite a long time, especially because I had flocked this base, which was a waste since it would be fully covered. Do yourself a favor and just dry brush a couple of greens on the textured base instead, before gluing on the flowers. Once the glue is fully cured, I trim away errant blades and gingerly reshape the tufts with my fingers so there are no jarring gaps between them. This is the end result. I'm extremely happy with how this miniature came out. There's still quite a few things I can improve on, such as a line highlight running down the front of her left thigh, but I think I've made some positive progress between this and the previous project in my journey to become a better miniature painter. I was initially afraid that the flowers were too tall, but ultimately their height feels like a good thing. I do wish I spent more time on the hair, as particularly from the back, that is one of the areas that draws the most attention. Yep, only the hair. Nothing else back there would draw your attention. Nothing at all. It's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you learned something or were inspired to start or expand your own collection. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you like the content of this video and would like to see more, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Jim with Working with Miniatures. I'm truly grateful for your time and I bid you a fond farewell. Until the next video.